There we go. Let's start over. Hey! It's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system located underneath the art villa found somewhere in the jungles of the Midwest. And today I'm coming to you with records. Again, why? Because I had to make my weekly run to get some grass seed. Because one of the things I did this week was yesterday took the backhoe and spent about 2-3 hours on the backhoe smoothing out the area where they trenched, dug the big trench for the geothermal deal I put in 10 months ago, over 10 months ago, all right? Tried to let it settle down, and there's still a lot of dirt, so there's going to be more settling. But I've got a pile of dirt. I'll just go get more from my pile when it settles. I got to plant some. It's been piled. It's right in the middle front of the house. Anyway, that's what the grass seed was for. Okay. So I was out. I stopped at Half Price Books, and they finally put some records out. All right. And they open on Thursdays at 10, and I got there at about 10:30, and there was already some guy had his cart filled up ahead of me. And then I'm going through it, and some other record collector comes in. Then another record collector that I've seen there before. It was a feeding frenzy. Well, whoever was ahead of me didn't pick out all the, well, who knows what he got. And then I went to Myers. It's the weird thing about people, okay? This woman, there's a young girl at the checkout, very nice, and a woman comes up to her, and I've noticed her. She's really, really thin and older and in good health, and she was walking with a cane before. And anyway, so it's a ladybug, an Asian beetle. They're all over. Anyway, so. Why did I think this story was going to be any good? It's just what people think you notice. Like, I'm just a guy standing in a checkout line. She has no idea. And the woman, they say something that you're going to be done when you're done with him. You get a code. And then she was, well, oh, she had got this, what was it called? Something that, and she said, I couldn't hear her. And she said, I think it means, and then she made her show, she couldn't talk. And it just happened last week and right away. And I'm like, I didn't really understand, but I took it as being serious, and I thought, well, how can I relate to this person who I don't know, and she doesn't know me, and I don't even know this lady she's talking about. What am I supposed to say? Okay, so I thought, I remembered she had the cane. I said, well, last week I noticed that she was walking with the cane. She goes, oh, yeah, she fell down and hurt herself, and she should be retired. Oh, that was the point of the story. That was her point. It was like, I feel sorry for her. That's what she said, and that she should be retired. But what younger people, I'm going to point this out. Come here, buddy. Hi, you came down again. Oh my God. Because you heard me talking. You know there's a nice warm toasty lap for you to come sit in when you hear me talking. He was down here and I was pulling stickers off, price stickers off of records, and he's like, that's pretty boring. I'm going back upstairs. But then he heard me talking and thought he would come back downstairs and visit. Or a visit. Heard me talking. Anyway. So my point is that young people look at old people that have problems, and the first thing that comes to their mind is, you should retire. You should stop working because it's too hard for you. But at my age, I can tell you that if you stop, you die. So people that still have the energy and the gumption to go to work, and no matter what age they are, to be employed and go to work, are probably generally happier and in better health than if they just stayed home and stopped working, where they're going to be be unhappy. But I haven't had a full-time job in like 15 years or something like that. So that's why I'm so unhappy, because I'm not suffering through the misery of working full-time like most people, right? At Half Price Books, I did get some things. This was not in the half price. This was not in the 50-cent bin. It's a contemporary, modern contemporary Verice. Probably I think I've got Nocturnal by somebody else doing it, but I don't think I have this album by whoever's doing it. The Utah Symphony. I don't know. I just picked it up. It was $4, but I took a risk. I risked it. That I was going to be okay for that much money. In the 50-cent bin, I found another copy of this. It's one of my favorite Topps cover. The model, she's just gorgeous, okay? And it was a very clean cover, so I picked it up for 50 cents to save it. Because the frenzied record collector feeding frenzy before me didn't pick that one out, okay? I've got this one, but I don't remember if the copy I've got. It's the Findlay College Jazz Ensemble, but in the 50-cent bin, and from the same source, because they all are probably a library collection, like a public library collection. There's another Ed Reverie, so I have this one, but for 50 cents I picked it up again, and it's a good album. I enjoyed that one. Normally wouldn't buy. Well, I do have some Paul Weston. Anyway, it was a really nice cover, just a splendid photograph on the cover of, looks like about 1958 maybe, 58 would be my guess. I think I've got this one too, but I picked it up again. Nice cover, Gordon Jennings, Mood Music, Gordon Jennings. And also in the 50-cent bin, it's Connie Haynes doing a tribute to Helen Morgan. Probably won't care for it, but the cover's really nice. And he's doing the great sounds of himself, Mort Lindsay, and his orchestra. Jose Mez, the guy that played the piano for Johnny Carson, or wrote the Tonight Show theme, Johnny Carson's theme. His albums are not that. They're uneven and not anyway. But I don't have the one where he does the opera, which it can't possibly be any good. But I bought it anyway. You never know. Oh my God, Manic Mark, how many copies of this do you have? Too many. But it was a clean copy, and the guy, like I said before me, left it. So I thought I better snap it up. I don't have this. It's Atomic Garrett's Viva Mexico with the die cut that really is neither here nor there as far as I'm concerned on these upscale Liberty releases. This isn't marked as their premiere anyway, but it's, I don't know. What the hell, I can't remember now. Go on. It's the Magic Touch. Buck Ram and his orchestra. Well, Mr. Ram, your wife has given birth to a lovely 10-pound baby boy. What do you think you'll name it? Let me see. How about Buck? Buck Ram, that's right. Buck Ram, you go stand in the corner until you behave. The old, why'd your father ever name you that? Buck Ram, Buck. It's background music. Picked this up because the cover was fun, okay? Went to a real record store that just happens to be down the road from me and found a few nice things. Something I don't have, I've got one of his albums now. I don't know if he made 3, I can't remember. But it's Harpo at Work, okay? It's the Marx Brothers Harpo right there at work. Now you think, well, you know, it's just kind of what a novelty record, and he kind of plays the harp in the movie a little bit. Well, the one record I have of his, which if I can, I'll try to put it up here. I'm sure I'll be able to find a cover right there. It's outstanding, if it's 50s, if I can remember correctly, 50s sort of Jackie Gleason-esque theme, stylish mood music, just really, really well done. And so he's excellent. He made an excellent record. I suspect that will be 2. Now, Pat Williams. I don't know who Pat Williams is, but the title of the album is Threshold. Lalo Schifrin, one of my favorite all-time composers, space-age composers. An album of his I don't have. New Fantasy on Verb. It's an Aquaval, Acquavia. Did I pronounce that right? Probably not. A Man in His Dream. Terrific cover. Johnny Smith. There's a cover of Michelle and Yesterday on this album, okay? And Gold Earring. Not that gold earring. Okay, now, let's go on to what came in the mail today. It's Adam King and Graves from the Wasteland. The second edition, the second printing of the second edition. The second printing, you sold out? No, there's 3 or 4 upstairs that are still here, which I'll get rid of. But when I shot the 3rd book, the art, I realized that I hadn't shot the art properly in the 2nd book. So I did it again, changed the lighting, and this color is tack sharp right on. It looks great. I repainted a couple panels inside, to change them that much, just freshened them up and made them, and then I touched up a couple more. Anyway, so now the Adam King that's got to be, I have to go upstairs and improve this. But maybe by the time that I post this video, this will be online for print. But the collar's really super tack sharp. The problem with the other one I did is everything's a little bit on the yellow side, warm side, and I thought it would be okay, and it is okay. But when I went to redo those 2 pages in here that I felt like were lacking. Now the art all feels okay to me now, right? Okay. So I got a couple of these to go out the door, and I'm probably just going to stick this in somewhere. Why? Because it's a story. I got to tell the story about it's the upgrade story to the upgrade of the shopping cart. Had a client, had an e-commerce store, and put it in a long time ago. It's off the shelf. But if you don't do computer stuff, if you're not 12 years old and a genius, which most everyone is now, if you're old like me, years ago, I took it off the shelf. And off the shelf doesn't mean simple. No. It can be very complicated. Okay, but anyway, I had to upgrade because the old one's going away. Got a new one. The main complaint was it wasn't flexible, but now it is flexible. But with flexibility comes complications. Now, you think just part of the basic off-the-shelf software in this more flexible store, which is arranged generally like the old store, so I was able to figure out how to do what I needed to do. Okay, so when you order something, you usually get an email that says what you ordered. Okay, and depending on how the store's set up, the email goes to the phone. The email goes to the person that runs the store so that they know that there's if you're not getting orders all the time, okay, the email goes out. Then there's when it's shipped, emails are sent out and with the tracking number, okay, and this store will do all of that, right? So, we get an order and the client doesn't get an email. I've even put my name in there to check on it. I don't get the email. And who knows, I'm sure now that the person that placed the order didn't get the confirmation email. So I'm thinking, what's wrong? So I call the tech department. Now, I've talked to them a lot over the past week, and they're tired of talking to me like, well, usually at this point, we just let the client take care of all this. Like, well, okay, I get your drift, right? But let me just say that this is not working. I'm pretty sure I've got it set up right. So they look, and they're like, well, I'm going to put you on hold. Now, when they put you on hold, it's because they have no idea how to answer you, and they're checking on somebody else so they can come back and answer the question. So they come back, and then they tell me, we don't know. We're going to have to research this. The tech person doesn't even know what's going on. So then 2 days later, I get an email that says, well, you got to go. Here's a link that explains what's going on, and here's another link. You have to install this extension. You got to be kidding me. So I go read this thing. Oh, the first link was a path to a blank page called a crone. The name of this, the thing that tells the email to do what it needs to do is a C-O-R-N. This is a great story. I'm glad you got the time to sit through it. C-R-O-N, okay? It's a task that tells the email to send itself. But the email just goes into a queue and sits there. Why the hell should it do that? I don't know why. Anyway, so, but you can force your emails to send if you run this little program called Chrome just by loading the URL in the browser. It's insane. Okay. So then I go to this community for the shopping that I named after the shopping cart software, okay, and I sign up to get on, and that way I can get this free download for this application extension that they want me to install. So then you click OK, you get the process of signing up, everything, click OK, you get the key, you go back to the admin section of the store, you put in the key, and what happens? Nothing. That's what happens. Okay, nothing happens. And how am I supposed to figure that out? So I'm researching it. No, doesn't work. This doesn't work. I can't figure it out. I'm going to have to call them. So then I'm reading this other stuff, and I think this is where it gets complicated. I want to go to this thing called a C panel so that I can actually open the CRON and look at the code or change something inside the admin panel. So there is the admin panel for the store. There's this admin panel for the VPS server called Plesk, P-L-E-S-K. It's not in there, okay? Then I finally find it's in something called the C panel, which is an upgrade, like a $40 a month thing, so that you can get in and control all the functionality in your server. Okay, so there's a server, there's an admin section, store, admin section, where you put images that are for the base parts of the store, not for your products, but everywhere else, more or less, in the Plesk desktop, which is confusing as freaking hell. And then there's the C panel, which I have no idea, and all that can be found through a link inside the control panel that you access through the host. Yeah. I don't even want to call them back and tell them that what they told me to do doesn't frickin' work, because I'm just like, shh.